I just bought this 5090 for 11,000 Rand or $600, and there's a very real chance this thing is completely dead. But I think I found the problem. And if I'm right, this could either be an insane comeback story or I'm an idiot and you should laugh at me in the comments. What's up guys, Jean here. Yes, I know, but hear me out. This isn't gonna be a review, it's not a benchmark. This is a rescue mission. And over the next few videos, we're gonna try and bring this RTX 5090 back from the dead. And I'm gonna take you guys with me through every step, every mistake, every win, and yes, every disaster. This all started with a listing I probably should have ignored. The MSI Vanguard SoC 5090. Non-working insurance salvage. Now that phrase can mean anything. It could be something simple like a blown fuse, or it could mean the GPU has been completely wrecked. And to make things worse, a lot of these high-end cards are stripped. Core removed, VRAM removed. I'm looking at you, my Chinas. Basically, you're buying a shell. But my curiosity or my stupidity got the better of me. I took the gamble. 11,000 Rand or $600 later, and now she's mine. And the whole time I'm thinking, this is either the best deal I've ever made, or I've just bought the world's most expensive doorstop. But I've been watching guys like Northwest Repair and Northridge Fix for years now, and they've shown me that very often, dead doesn't always mean dead. When it arrived, the first thing that stood out was how clean it was. No burn marks, no corrosion, no obvious damage. Almost too clean. But there were two details that immediately stood out. I had seen this on the original listing images. The anti-tamper seal was broken, which meant someone had already tried to figure out what was wrong with it and decided it wasn't worth fixing or had almost no idea what to look for. The second thing I noticed was the flex on the board itself. I'm not sure how much it'll show on camera, but there is a lot of tension on this PCB. So naturally, I couldn't wait. I threw it onto my test bench, plugged everything in, and powered it up. Fan spin, lights come on, and black screen. Now, this is where it gets weird. The card is actually sending a signal, the monitor wakes up, but there's nothing there. Just the abyss. Not completely dead, but not fully alive either. I switched over to the iGPU on the 9800X3D, booted into Windows, and checked Device Manager. And there it is, GeForce RTX 5090. The GPU is detected, but code 43, which basically means something is seriously wrong. Then I opened GPU-Z, and this is where things got really interesting. 0 megabytes VRAM, no meaningful hardware data. It's as if the GPU knows it's a GPU, but had forgotten what it's supposed to do. An existential crisis, if you will. Boy, do I know that feeling. Anyway, strangely, that actually gives me hope. If the GPU was completely dead, it probably wouldn't show up at all. The fact that it's detected means the core is likely still there. The board has some functionality, and we might not be dealing with a total loss. So I invited my mate, let's call him Dickhead, over to help me out because the next step was to open it up. VRAM chips, all present. GPU die, present. PCB, clean. And honestly, that's almost worse because now the problem isn't so obvious. And then we saw it. A tiny crack in the PCB. Now to the naked eye, it looks like nothing. You could easily miss it, and at first glance it looked like maybe a layer or two of the PCB was damaged, but under magnification it goes pretty deep, through multiple layers of the board. It almost looks like all of them, and that's a huge problem.
That's what she said. Or he said.
Modern GPUs are incredibly complex, multi-layered boards. Damage like this can sever internal traces that carry critical signals between core, memory, and power delivery. The result? A card that powers on, gets detected, a card that almost works, but doesn't. The way I see it, I have two options. Attempt a trace repair, that means grinding into the PCB, finding the broken traces and reconnecting them manually. This is extremely... Option 2, find a donor PCB and transport the core and the memory, which is also... And this is where I need your help. Do we attempt to repair locally? Is there someone in South Africa who can actually do this level of work? Or do we send it overseas to someone like Tony at Northwest Repair? Because honestly, that might be the best shot at saving it. But the cost and the risk are very real. If you have any nuggets of knowledge or know a guy who knows a guy,
I know a guy who knows a guy who knows another guy.
Drop a comment. I'm reading everything, because in the next episode, we're going to go deeper. I'm not sure where it's going to go just yet. We're figuring it out as we go along, but I hope this card has a future, because I don't want this to be the end of the story. I want this card to work. It's a 1590, guys. This is something that I can't just willy-nilly just get. If you want to see how this plays out, hit subscribe, because this is going to get interesting, and it's just the beginning. The 1590 project starts now. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay lekker. Okay, thanks, bye.